Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, Diablo 4. I'm in trouble. Unexpected consequences. Recently, you may have seen I and another fellow YouTuber, Sloth Moods, we beat the capstone 70. And what I didn't realize, because I don't do any research, that meant now my new world was level 73 in tier 4, while I was only level 62. I was close to 63, so I grinded to 63, and here I'm trying to grind to 64. So I'm doing this right outside of one of the cities, and Blasphemous, who is a sorcerer, was out running around, and he invited me to a group. At first, I just killed things with him, and then we grouped together, and we're slowly leveling up. The problem with being this low, I die a lot. So I had switched to this werebear form, which is not unkillable, but I survived a little bit longer. Probably the main skill that helped me was trample, because I could run out of danger. So I'm going to die a lot. Sometimes we pine, we long for some things, and sometimes we get them. Roxy, get out of there. And sometimes we get them, YouTube. And I was happy when we beat the capstone at level 70, but I wasn't real thrilled with the results. Yes, my gear is higher, but by the time I get to enjoy kicking everything's butt, I will be at that level anyways. And if you remember from that video, my build, I was the weaker of the two. So I'm sure the person that's in my clan, Sloth, or our clan, I'm sure he is having no problem leveling. But I'm struggling here. But one of the benefits of playing these MMORPGs, where you're playing with other people, you come across some nice people. And Blasphemous, lucky for me, we kind of found some simpatico. We were killing stuff. And he's going to invite me to a leveling group here in a little bit. It got so bad on this character now, I didn't get below a certain amount, but I had to level another character to make money to pay for all the repairs and everything that was going on with this character. And so at this point, there's no amount of strategy. There's no amount of anything that's going to help me, because everything's so high above me. Level 73 plus, it's 10 levels above me. That's a tough road to hoe. You almost have to group. Now, if you're in a group of maybe 4, I think it'd be really easy. I don't happen to have a group of 4. So when you are shooting for a goal and you finally get it, what happens when it's not quite what you expected? What about the unintended consequences? What do you do then? I mean, I want a new job, I want a new job, I want a new job, I get a new job, oh crap. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try for things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you should be prepared for some outcomes you didn't necessarily want. No, so I just make level 64. We've already done one nightmare dungeon. We're in Nightmare Dungeon tier 29. I think the mobs in here are like 87 or 85, so they're like 22 levels above me. But even when I go to level 64, it's not quite as bad. I can feel the difference. But I'm going to die a lot. And at this point, I've switched my build, because what I started finding success was if I'm a little bit ranged and I make them vulnerable with the dogs, I can maybe beat a minion every once in a while. So you have to have alternative plans. When you make a plan and you succeed and you get what you want, but it's not exactly how you thought it would be, then you got to make adjustments. Again, in no way is this a warning or anything. I would do that capstone again. What we did, it was a great achievement to do a level 70, and it was 8 levels above me. And I got carried through a lot of it. So I'm not going to turn that down. Because I will tell you this part. So let's talk about real life and not games. In real life, I was in the Coast Guard, and I made E6. Coast Guard has ranks E1 to E10. There's only one E10. So basically E1 to E9. And I made E6 in 6 years, which a lot of people got mad at me. A lot of people that were my rank made derogatory remarks about me. They would say things like, well, I wanted to know what I was doing before I got advanced, they would say. And I became an officer in charge in 8 years. And a lot of times guys would have 15, maybe 20 years, and then they'd get to that point. My advantage was I didn't go to the Coast Guard right out of high school. I went to the Coast Guard after 3 years of college. I did well in college. College just wasn't for me. I was a philosopher. That's what my major was. And I just was like, I don't need the teacher to tell me that I'm a philosopher. So I got out of there. But I never had a problem. I never had a problem when I was an E6, learning what to do as an E6, because I did all the things as an E4 that I would have done as an E6. I organized everything. I followed the orders. I looked at what the rules and regs were, and I did those. And it seemed like a really easy formula. So whether I had the time and grade or the life experience, someone could have said, you don't have the life experience. When you go to be an officer in charge, they put you in front of a board with like a captain, a couple E9s, maybe a couple E8s, one E9, lieutenants, O3s, O2s, a whole wide variety of people, and they ask you a bunch of questions. And they're trying to gauge, not even going to say, YouTube, this is normally when I ask you to subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, like, share, hit the notification, trying to get to 500. I need your help because I'm going to die a lot here. So if I did it every time, you guys would get sick of me. So they're kind of gauging in that realm. They're gauging if you're going to be mature enough to handle the job. In a weird set of circumstances, I took the officer in charge board once. I had been put up to the board before I had the actual right time and grade. They gave me 45 minutes. We took a break at 45 minutes. They, I guess, called Washington, D.C. Can we get a waiver for this guy? Is really good. They said no. They brought me back in and said, you're the best guy we've ever seen. But, you just don't have the time and grade, so we're going to have to pass. I left there on cloud 9. I thought I was ready. I'd studied, but I'd been living that. I've been wanting to be in charge and running things. And as a boastmate, you're kind of doing that all the time. So I don't think a lot of times when you promote before other people think you're ready, I don't think that's a mistake. I don't think you run into this. That's a mechanic of this particular game. Now, here's the benefit of this in this game is that I'm going to get higher loot. So my loot's going to be a lot better. My gear is going to be a lot better. So moving forward, it's going to make it a little bit easier. The problem with getting that random loot, though, is I can't really shape a build. I'm going to have to go with the build it's going to let me have. So, what other things do you have unintended consequences, and how do you deal with that? This, like everything else, is why probably one of the first things I ever wrote and published and put out there, whether the grammar's correct or not, because I don't care, whether the grammar's correct or not, is the idea that you need to be able to problem solve, because if you can problem solve, it can get you through anything. If you're honest to yourself, if you frame discussions, if you frame your objectives, you can make it through. Doesn't make it nice and easy. No one said it's ever going to be easy. No one said it's ever going to be nice. But in this situation, I know there's no way around it. I'm going to have to group with someone. And Blasphemous was nice enough to invite me to this group. Now, I cut out the part where I screwed it up because I was so excited to be off where I was doing that I kept rezzing. And as you know, in a nightmare, you only get a limited amount of rezzes. And the person that's carrying us through, I'm not going to name him because he might not, I think those two were friends and they were doing it. I'm not trying to put them out there. I appreciate what they did to me. This is my thank you to them. But I don't think they're trying to do this all the time. But I have to grind, and so I'm grinding up to 65. I'll leave here level 64. They took off. I really appreciated them helping me, and then I'm grinding to 65. And when I get to 65, it'll be a little bit easier. And with the gear, it's a little bit easier. I have more survivability. I can strafe, kite, do all those mechanics to make me last longer. But you have this problem solving. And what's your problem solving technique? Really, it starts with asking why. If you're getting criticism, once someone gives you the criticism, you got to ask yourself, why did they give that to me? Is it valid? Can I make those changes? Are they asking something of me? Are they critiquing something I can't control? I don't like you, Ronan, because you're old. I can't do anything about that. Ronan, I don't like that you don't have good grammar. I can try to work on that. Just to finish up something from another video also, someone's talking about I have a Discord channel. They eventually deleted their Discord channel, in essence booted me off, so I'd start my own. I ended up starting my own, and that's what you see advertised in the link to on the videos. But no one goes to that Discord because I'm not popular yet. And it's really a numbers game, right? If 1,000 of you subscribed, I bet 10% of you would daily check in and see what I had to say. People watch the videos all the time, but having a community in a home, that's usually when things are a little bit bigger. Also, if I'm putting things out every day, I don't have a social media manager, that's me, that can respond to everyone. So I don't also want to get everyone's hopes up. The way I would respond to you is in the next video. Recently, I had a person that I put a video out and they said, I watch all your videos, I just don't comment. So I made a video because I do that sometimes as well. And that person recommended, hey, why don't you do something on criticism, accepting criticism. And that was great. And I had a couple really nice people comment, maybe, get a different glyph for vulnerability. That's going to help things out. And also, the werewolf gets better as you get higher. So I've got, I've got some, down the road, I got some hope that things are going to be better. So there we are, completed at tier 29, got carried the whole way. Thanks to the folks that carried me. I really appreciate it, really helped out. But this was an unintended consequence. Now I have to grind up. But I'll tell you this, if you get level 70, if I'm doing okay now at level 60, whatever, 364, when you get level 70, I don't think Nightmare is going to be that harder than Torment. I just don't feel it because it's not too hard now. So thanks again, YouTube. Thanks to the folks that carried me. Appreciate y'all. Bye.